Hello everyone, Jim Biringer here, FullPressHockey.com. Subscribe to the channel, click the like on the video. Today we're talking about the Calgary Flames. Talking about where Matthew Tkachuk came from all those off seasons ago before he won a Stanley Cup with the Florida Panthers. He did come from the Calgary Flames. And remember, Brady Tkachuk's name's been out there, but as FullPressHockey.com has reported, he isn't going anywhere. But let's take a look and a deep dive into those Calgary Flames. Look, it was a great start to their season. Craig Conroy was really happy with the start, especially the play of Igor Sharangovich and Kevin Ball, two players they got from the New Jersey Devils. One they got when the 23-24 season just started. In that offseason, they traded Tyler Toffoli at the 2023 NHL draft to the New Jersey Devils for Igor Sharangovich. Great trade for both teams. Sharangovich put up 30 goals, and he had a 5-year contract extension. And Conroy really likes his play, and he wasn't sure what he was going to get from the player, but has exceeded expectations. Similar to Kevin Ball, who's been part of one of the best shutdown pair defensemen for the Calgary Flames this season, and in the National Hockey League with Rasmus Andersson. Again, more on Andersson in a little bit. Same with Nazem Kadri, but it hasn't been a turmoil season, not many distractions for the Calgary Flames. Remember last year, besides Toffoli, Jacob Markstrom's name was out there. You know, you had Nikita Zadorov, you had Elias Lindholm, you had Noah Hanifin. So many players were on the move from the Calgary Flames. You knew they were rebuilding. This year, they're just retooling on the fly, and you can see it. And they moved out everybody for picks and prospects. Markstrom originally was supposed to go to the Devils at the trade deadline, as Full Press Hockey had reported. He finally goes after Game 5 of the Stanley Cup Final. You know, they get the deal done. The Devils get their goaltending. Has been delivering. Check out more FullPressHockey.com. But they get Kevin Ball in there, right? And you look at it and you say, oh, Kevin Ball, what is he going to be? There was no room for him in New Jersey. And he's proving and stepping up in the opportunity he was given. Now, both players started the season hurt, right? Kevin Ball, right? He's had a little bit of injury in preseason, seen with Sharangovich. They're finally turning it on, right? Ball missed all of preseason, jumps in right away, plays great with Andersson. He's been everything and more that the Calgary Flames have wanted. Sharangovich is starting to find a scoring touch again. But we mentioned Andersson, and in speaking with Craig Conroy for RG Media, he said he would like to re-sign Rasmus Andersson long-term. Right, Andersson is in a similar situation to what Noah Hanifin was, except Noah Hanifin was UFA last year. This year, Andersson still got a year and a half left on his deal, and he loves playing in Calgary from what the Calgary GM told me. Right, he's a member of the Team Sweden Four Nations face-off team. He's probably going to be on the Olympic team for Team Sweden as well. He's played so good with Ball. Those guys, just the instant chemistry, and he wants to be there, but it's going to be up to Andersson and how the team performs and where the team goes for him to sign a long-term extension with the Calgary Flames. Again, as Dave Pagnotta reported, teams are calling on him. They've been calling on him since the beginning of the offseason, even before the draft, but Conroy has been hesitant to move him because you want to get a good return. Because not only are they looking to move Andersson, or teams are calling about Andersson and interested in him, like I said, I hit with Jamie and Locker. You can be interested in somebody, doesn't mean they're available. And teams are interested in Andersson and what he can bring. However, does Craig Conroy really want to move him? Don't think so. He really would like to extend him. That's the real possibility. But again, the season's going to determine a lot. But they're playing well right now, beat the champs. So don't underestimate the Calgary Flames. Nazem Kadri is another name out there. But again, they just moved out of center last year. And according to Conroy via RG Media, he wants to add a center, a right shot center, because he doesn't have one. Everybody else is a left shot center. And he's willing to move a first-round pick for an age-appropriate center. Oh, who's out there? Who's circling? Teams are circling Buffalo and Dylan Cousins. He's got a ton of years left at a reasonable cap hit, around $7 million, fit right in what the Calgary Flames are doing. That's a good return for somebody for a first-round pick. They got to look at their prospect pool. They got a lot of great prospects from all the trades that they made. Obviously, the Zadorov one, that's where Andrei Kuzmenko was. He's UFA. He's going to be a player teams are going to look to call on, and I think that's a player that the Calgary Flames look to move out. It just hasn't worked there. Dan Vladar is an interesting one because he complements Dustin Wolf so well. but he is a free agent goalie. They could look to extend him for a couple of more years, but this is Wolf's team. But he seems to have found his niche with the Calgary Flames as part of that, trade all those years ago that brought Dougie Hamilton out there and, came back. So that's an interesting piece for me when you look at the Calgary Flames. What could they do with a guy like Dan Vladar? I know the goalie market is tough right now because we saw Mackenzie Blackwood go to Colorado. So, we just, does the Carolina Hurricanes call? Where could teams use a backup goalie? Not a lot of options there right now. San Jose still got some goalies as well. So that's a player you're going to want to look at towards the trade deadline. But if Craig Conroy could get a Dylan Cousins or an age-appropriate player, he's willing to move one of those first-round picks. It most likely would be the Devils pick because he's got picks tied up in a trade with the Montreal Canadiens all those years ago for Sean Monahan. So the higher the two picks, the lower the two picks are going to go to the Montreal Canadiens. So he could do it with more conditions. It'd really, really be tough. Again, how much value does Kuzmenko get? Do you get a second round or third round for him? Teams are going to want to get Kadri, but again, he's a center. It's going to take a big package to do it. Is he really available? If they're retooling on the fly, there's a reason they moved out a lot of money to get him. Again, Matthew Tkachuk is a different story. A lot of people say, I can't play in Calgary in these, Canadian markets. Not true. If a guy like Andersson re-signs and extends, that shows that there's a commitment to the Calgary Flames. There's a lot of good prospects coming. There's a new building coming in Calgary, and as Craig Conroy said, it's all about getting ready for the new building and being competitive there. But he feels this team is retooling on the fly. Getting a center would be huge for this team. Just adds a little bit more depth, especially scoring-wise, because they need it. All their offense comes from their back end. But Jonathan Huberdeau having a resurgent season. But you look at the two ex-Devils, you look at the Sharangoviches, the Balls. They're performing well. If he can get players like that, that's what he's going to want to get in these trades. If he decides to move an Andersson or a Kadri, something like that in return. But for sure Kuzmenko's going. Vladar's most likely going. Those are UFA rental pieces. But again, the season's going to determine what the Calgary Flames do at the trade deadline and into the offseason, especially when it comes to Rasmus Andersson. This is Jim Biringer, FullPressHockey.com. Again, click the link, subscribe to the channel, give us a like on the video. Check out FullPressHockey.com for more great articles. Take care, and we'll be back again real soon.